Why is it necessary to test potential medicines on animals?
We do medical research to save human lives and to prevent people suffering.
As we continue to develop new vaccines and drugs to treat life-threatening diseases, the ethical and practical question is constantly asked: should we continue to test on animals? As Dr. Simon Festing argues, we do it to save human lives. However, animal rights groups such as PETA and the Humane Society argue that animal testing is cruel and inhumane.
Although there are points being made for animal testing, the fact of the matter is, animal testing should not be continued for scientific research in prescription drugs and vaccines, because it is very costly, it's ineffective, and it's very cruel to the animals being tested on. So, let's look at the few reasons why we shouldn't have animal testing anymore.
An important point to mention is that there are many alternatives to animal testing. In vitro or in-glass testing, such as studying cell clusters in a petri dish, can produce a more reliable result than animal testing, because we can use human cells. So, by not using animals, not only will we be able to yield a better result, but no lives will be lost in the process.
Okay, so scientifically there's a better option out there for animal testing. And in addition to that, practically, it's also a better option. Animal testing practically is detrimental, because it's a very expensive way of testing a new drug.
The Humane Society did studies on various amounts of animal tests, comparing it to alternative methods, and found that every case had animal testing being more expensive. According to Senator Jeff Flake's Waste Book of Government Funding, over $7.3 million of taxpayers' money was wasted on studies involving animals in 2016 alone.
So, financially, animal testing does not make sense. And in addition to that, it's also a very unreliable way of testing the overall toxicity or danger of a drug.
In the 1950s, a sleeping pill named thalidomide caused over 10,000 babies to be born with severe deformities. And this drug was tested on animals prior to its commercial release. And in addition to that, an arthritis drug named Vioxx had a protective effect on the hearts of mice. Yet, the drug ended up causing more than 27,000 heart attacks and sudden cardiac death before being pulled off the market. And yet, after all these facts are laid out, there is still that lingering question that needs to be addressed. What about the safety and treatment of the animals?
Many scientists will argue that animal testing is very regulated now, and no animal will be subjected to any cruel or inhumane treatment, when yet, that's just simply not the case.
According to the Humane Society, animals used in experiments are commonly subjected to force feeding, forced inhalation, food and water deprivation, prolonged periods of physical restraint, the infliction of burns or other wounds to study the healing processes, and the infliction of pain to study its effects and remedies. In all, animal testing is a waste of a life and is terribly cruel to the animals. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, as of 2016, 71,370 animals have suffered pain during experiments while being given no anesthesia for relief, including 1,272 non-human primates, 5,771 rabbits, 24,566 guinea pigs, and 33,280 hamsters. Really, if we lay out all the facts, animal testing is very costly, ineffective, and is very cruel to the animals that are being tested on. As Dr. Festing says, we do it to save human lives, and yet there are simply too many better options out there, where we can save lives without sacrificing any others in the process.